every 2.5 years, you undergo a new era, okay, based on your moon sign and the sign that it progresses in. So every 2.5 years, about, you will have a different moon sign based on the sign that your moon progresses in. And I know it sounds weird. Yes, you're still whatever moon sign you were in when you were born with, but when we're looking at progressive charts, okay, secondary progressions, you're I love astrology because it not only accounts for who you are that you were born, but it also accounts for the changes that you go through throughout your life. And so we're going to be talking about that change, and how you can find out what era you're currently in, because I think the moon sign is one of the most important placements to look at because it tells you your emotional focus, and that's going to change every 2.5 years about. So understanding your emotional needs now, they may be different than the core base emotional needs, but based on circumstances, based on everything around you going on, that will change. And so this video is really to find out what era are you in, like what is the central theme, what is the focus for your life. So my name is Vila. Welcome to Earth and Moon. Welcome back, you guys. I have different hair. Speaking of new era, oh my goodness, my moon has progressed into Libra, and I just feel like a completely different person. I don't even know how to deal with this, like, because I'm a Virgo sun and my moon wasn't obviously progressing Libra before, in Virgo before, so it's like I'm used to that energy. I'm used to hermit mode. Now it's like I want to be social all the time, and it's like, where is this coming from? But I am gonna go in with all of the moon signs. And of course I have my notes down here, and I'm going to show you guys, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about and you're confused, go to astroseek.com. okay, I'll put the link down below to exactly where you're going to put in your chart information, and I have like some freebies down there in the link that you can explore as well, like the calendar for this year too that I made. Just all that is in the description, but click the one that says AstroSeek Progressive Calendar. And then this is, I know it's gonna look a little wild, okay? This is your chart, right? All you have to do is look for the orange moon sign. That's going to be the sign that your moon has progressed in currently. And look at the sign that it's in and also the house that it's in. But for the sake of this video, we're only going to be focusing on the sign. So, sorry, y'all, I'm not with all of that editing stuff. So I'm hoping that you can like really see what I'm trying to show y'all. So here you see the moon symbol, Libra, 5th house. And if you scroll down, I'm pretty sure like it explains it all for you, which is really nice. But I would definitely explore this because it helps you to like see the manner in which you are changing and transforming as a person. So that's a resource there. But let's, without further ado, once you guys have done that, I'm going to explain each and every single one. I'm so glad to be back on YouTube. I low-key like forget that, oh my gosh, I have a channel here too. I'm so sorry, but I am back, okay? And back in a different person. So don't be surprised if my hair changes, because it absolutely will. Okay, so let's just keep going. Oh, the timestamps. Oh my. Oops. I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna start in order. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay, what time are we at? 3:57. And I lost my pen. I have no idea where that Apple pen went. I now have to use my fingers for this, but it's okay. Okay, moon in Aries, right? If your progressed moon is now into Aries, oh my goodness, this is a time for independence. This is a time for leadership. This is a time for assertion. Start that business, do what you need to do. This is a moment where you may feel very irritable. Things are going to start to piss you off a little bit more. You might feel a little bit more aggressive, or like you just have this fire up under you that you feel restless. Like you always feel like you have to do something. Definitely look at the house in which you have this in, because it's going to tell you the area of life in which you kind of have this pioneer, I need to be doing something energy, and it's really going to help you build something. This is a great time to work on your self-confidence, your self-empowerment, right? Really believing in yourself and really working on, because confidence is practiced, okay? Confidence is not something that you're just born with, that you just have, right? But obviously there are some signs that have that self-belief in themselves to practice more and more and more to the point where they become confident. But this is your time to practice being confident so that you can be confident. Okay, so I think right now this is kind of like you know, your moon was previously in Pisces, where you were kind of like go with the flow, you know, kind of lucid, more in your spirituality and like, you know, kumbaya. This time, okay, when your moon progressed in Aries, it's like if somebody has you effed up, you let them know. That type of energy. It's like it's not go with the flow. It's like the flow is where I say it's going. So it's very much a time to take control of the reins. So you may have felt in the previous 2.5 years more like I said, kind of flowy and like kind of relaxed and chilled and not really taking much action, and more so in this kind of dreamy state, more so more sensitive and spiritual. But now it's a time where it's like, okay, I have to take action. I have to do things if I want my dreams to become a reality. Like you're kind of going to be moving away from this more idealistic way of doing things and more into a very action oriented, fiery way of doing things. So this era really looks like not holding back, starting whatever it is you want to start, the relationship, the business, whatever. It's prioritizing your own needs over other people's needs, right? Because with Aries moon here, it's really, Aries is the first house of self. So it's very self-assured. It's very self-confident. It's an energy where it considers itself first and it prioritizes itself because it realizes it's very self-confident, self-assured. Like, I am my vehicle, I am my fuel, and I have to nurture that. I have to own that. So this is really a time for owning yourself and owning your desires. You may feel very impatient and like, I want what I want and I want it now. Okay, sharp tongued, really blunt. It's just going to be a time for you to kind of practice having that Aries energy in your life. Okay, so trust your instincts. You're stepping into a new chapter of really formulating your identity and being comfortable in your identity and comfortable expressing that. Okay, so you, like I said, watch out for any impulsivity, or like, you know, watch your mouth a little bit, because you guys might really just get really irritated and really easily kind of very, you know, impatient and, you know, burning bridges and just kind of doing things. But I think it's actually kind of a good thing, especially for moving from this Pisces energy where you're just learning to, you know what, to hell with it. But I think right now it's about taking action, even though it's messy. It's about starting things, even if you don't necessarily feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have the qualifications or the skill. Like this is really a period for you to own yourself, and it's a time for passion, not perfection, not going with the flow. It's like I said, it's creating that flow. So explore more of this, and again, apply this to the house themes, because that's really going to make it feel more specific to you. But that's the era that you're in. You're in this bad gal era, okay? Rihanna, bad gal era. That this is the era that you're in. So make the most of it. Okay, so let me know in the comments how it resonates for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, so now we're gonna move on. For my moon in Taurus, okay, so right now you may have a deep desire for slowing down, for building roots, for being more secure, for being more stable and grounded. You may feel like, you know what, I don't really want to do anything. I don't really want to do much. I'm really comfortable. I want to stay in my house. I want to be cozy. Like, I'm just kind of like, you may be more focused on your physical body, on comfort, on nice meals, indulging yourself, really focus on your self-worth, and maybe even like you may be more interested in slow and steady wins the race. Okay, you're not really trying to like rush into, jump into, start anything, right? Because your moon was in progress in Aries. So the last 2 years it would have been in Aries, and you would have been like kind of had this fire up under you and like really independent, really self-starting and kind of doing go. And now it's like a season of slowing down. You're kind of in your era of wealth and luxury and building security and building roots and, you know, being grounded within yourself. So this right now, you may really struggle with change or sudden change or initiating. You really want to kind of maintain where you're at, okay? So you really begin to focus on like long-term investments, on security, stability, a sense of peace over like creating the chaos. So it's, you know, you're really right now is a time for you to build something that's lasting, whether it's money, whether it's, you know, a strong sense of your self-worth, whether it's like a home base. You're just right now is a time for building slow and steady. Okay. So I also think it's a time for really taking care of your physical body, right? Feeling comfortable in your body, and just it's a time for comfort. and pleasure, right? So you really may crave sweets right now a lot. And slowness, and just kind of like taking it day by day, but you know, contributing to your security, and like I said, not really wanting a lot of change or so much fast movement here. So I think that you want to watch out for, you know, being resistant to change sometimes. Of course, that's going to be important, and also becoming sort of emotionally stuck. I would rarely recommend like grounding exercises, anything that connects you to your sensuality, anything that connects you to, so again, like good food, good music, like that's what I always recommend for Taurus placements in general, because it helps you feel more connected to yourself. But I also think right now you, what can really help you, and this is also a great period because the moon is exalted in Cancer. So like this is 2 years of pleasure, okay, of good food, of good music, like I said, of just really enjoyment, okay? And the moon is exalted in Cancer because Cancer is, you know, the moon is at home in Cancer. Cancer is the emotions, it flows, and Taurus is the earth. So it's beautiful when they go together. So I think this is about creating more beauty in your life, more stability, but in a grounded, practical way where you're taking it steady day by day. You're in an era of, anytime I think of Taurus energy, I just think of luxury and wealth and like comfort, right? Because comfort is a luxury. So right now it's really about sustainability, not necessarily like starting and going full force ahead, but it's about maintaining and sustaining and growing roots, okay? So especially when it comes to relationships, because it's Venus ruled, and also your money, okay? So beautiful time to just like really prioritize self-care and not feeling like you need to go, not feeling like you need to be on the you know, always doing something. Like it's a time, I think, for enjoying the fruits of your labor and continuing to create more for yourself. Okay, so that's what I have for you, my Taurus placement. Just beautiful period for you guys. I will see you guys next time, and let me know in the comments how it's resonated for you. Okay, so now let's see for my Geminis. Okay, if your moon has progressed into Gemini, you may feel like you want to talk to everybody and their mama. So you guys may feel very social. You may feel very like not even if it's not necessarily social, it's just you're craving stimulation. You want to read more, you want to learn more, you're very curious, you're very open-minded, you may feel very restless, right? Like almost like, oh my gosh, like your emotional needs are, you kind of have this craving for mental connection, okay? So for variety, like you're kind of feeling like, oh my God, I need to be all over the place and explore different things and kind of be this busy bee here. So I think this is really a time for communication, expanding your mind, expanding, you know, speaking your truth more, and learning. This is a period of learning. It's an era, you're in your intellectual era. So it's like going to school. It's being open to having conversations with strangers, okay, reading a lot, getting into like novels and stories and things like that. It's just a really time for media as well. Like maybe you may feel really drawn to social media or something like that. So it's really a time, this like emotional tone is, like I said, that intellectual era. So this is like short-term projects, friends, you know, you might kind of feel like you're gonna have multiple different passion projects or go down a lot of rabbit holes about information, writing, speaking, traveling, taking classes, right? Just anything that opens your mind to more. You want to open your mind, you're going to want to expand your mind. So I think this can easily become scattered because there's going to be so much going on and you want so much stimulation, you crave so much. It can also be like having more than you can really keep up with in terms of social interactions, in terms of like little projects. So it's going to be really important to make sure that you find out what truly matters to you rather than just getting easily distracted by just what comes to your energy. I also think here you may, at this point, you're so mentally activated that it may be hard to connect with yourself emotionally. So you may be kind of detached in that way. So I would say follow your curiosity, talk to people, socialize, take advantage of it. This would be like a great networking period, a great period of getting to know people, of seeing people that can help you along your path or along your journey. But also it would be like a great social media era, you know, in your influencer era, in your intellectual era, you know, just really being involved in your community, involved in the people around you, and creating like a social sphere. A great time to build a social circle for yourself that's based on your true interests and your true desires, and you know what truly stimulates you, and that goes for the people in your life too. So I think that big thing here is just going to be about follow through, because again, there's just going to be so many different things that you're going to want to try, but make sure that you are putting on your plate what you can actually handle. Okay. So I hope that resonated for my Geminis. It's a beautiful era of like expanding your social circle and maybe being the popular person or just getting to know everybody. Take advantage of it, okay? So we're gonna move on now for my Cancer. What is that? 15. So if your moon has progressed into Cancer, might feel like a time where you're really sensitive, okay? You may crave a sense of home and family. You may want to stay inside a lot, okay? You may crave like a intimate relationship, like where there's intimacy and vulnerability, right? So you may be feeling really sensitive and really not necessarily to yourself, but more so wanting a safe haven, that you want to build a safe haven for yourself. I've also seen this in charts of people where you become a mother, and so it becomes a time, or a parent, and it becomes a time of connecting with your emotional roots and nurturing something, right? So this could be a period where you're taking care of something, you're nurturing something. There's something delicate in your life or vulnerable in your life that you have to tend to or nurture, or you're becoming more involved in your home somehow. So during this time in your era, it's like your mother era, okay? You're mothering yourself. You may feel like kind of nurturing to everyone else around you. You're kind of feeling more sensitive and vulnerable and intuitive and really tapping into that energy. Maybe healing like family wounds, or like, feeling very nostalgic and reminiscing on your childhood, or any sort of emotional wounds that happen right now will feel very heavy, and it will be difficult to sort of let go of them. So you're like gonna feel very sentimental right now. So it's really about spending more time at home, spending more time at family, maybe even learning how to cook, anything related to home themes, right? So you may really long for family, or just like close, intimate connections and friendships and relationships, and looking for emotional security is just going to be a big theme in your life right now. Emotional security in everything that you do, like if it truly feels like home to you, if people truly feel like home, if the work that you're doing truly feels like it's like nurturing your heart here. So it could also be a time of like I said, I think I mentioned healing family patterns, healing childhood patterns. It's just like it's just a very sensitive, homey, like I want to snuggle my blanket time, and like I'm crying about random things, like why am I so sensitive? Why am I crying all the time? That's definitely this Cancerian energy. You may experience mood swings, or like I said, not being able to let go of like emotional things like heartbreaks or previous relationship, feeling very sentimental. You may also struggle at this time because there's such that deep desire for like closeness and intimacy. Really watch out for codependency and like needing to attach to something. So it's really important to have an inner security within yourself, where you find a home within yourself, that you don't latch onto a person or a place or a thing in order to feel that. Those can definitely be a part of it, but you don't want to make sure that it's rooted in that, okay? Well, you want to make sure it's not rooted in that. So I think it's about nourishing your inner world and paying attention to your feelings and not dismissing them, especially if this is like new energy for you, new territory for you. It's about like this is a time for, it's a relationship with your emotions, and it's going to be coming up front to your face. So the moon is domicile here in Cancer. So you might also be feeling really feminine, and like, again, depending on what journey you've been on previously, it may or may not be something comfortable for you. So working on your femininity, working on being more open and receptive emotionally, working on expressing your emotions and all of that. But I think it's a time to really feel deeply and understand here that right now it's about emotional safety and emotional security, and that's okay. All right, so I hope that resonated for you guys. I will absolutely see you guys next time. Let me know in the comments how it resonated for you. Okay. So for my progressed moon in Leo, let me get the time. Okay, for my progressed moon in Leo, this is a time to be seen. I need you to post pictures. I need you to be outside. I need you to be this is a time for self-expression and authenticity. For me, it's crazy. When I was looking back, the time that I started my social media and like all of my creative projects and ideas was when my moon was progressed into Leo. So it's this time of radiance. You're going to feel like this desire to be seen and to share yourself, to share your creative ideas, to share you know, your identity, your authenticity, to, you know, you're going to be more involved in like entertainment, drama, having a good time, you know, going out and like being around people and being seen, and really focusing on your authenticity and your self-expression and expressing yourself, and kind of like seeing the world as an audience for you. Okay, so you want to be seen, celebrated, and adored. You may be really craving recognition and validation at this time. And I know, you know, those are things like, oh, you want to self-validate. We all want validation. We all want to be validated. And that's okay, because we're human beings. We all want to be validated by our partner. We all want to be validated by society. Like we want to be accepted. And I think with Leo energy, there's a strong need and a strong desire too, because you have such a self-belief in your authenticity right now, and it's like, okay, I want this to be seen, I want this to share. And so it could be you very sensitive to rejection at this point. But I think this time is really about creating a solid sense of your authenticity, and expressing your creativity without judgment, without fear. But the big part of it is expressing that creativity so that it can be seen, so sharing it with an audience. Okay, so this is like your main character moment. This is your main character era. This is your era where you are the main character in the story. This is all about you right now. And it's all about not shrinking, okay? Not hiding your personality or none of that. Like, this is really a time where you're going to feel that need to like maybe post more on social media, or be out and about more in terms of sharing your creative or artistic talents and abilities, or maybe getting into entertainment, theater, drama. Excuse me. Like, you may have like spotlight moments, passion projects, you know, you just taking center stage, and you'll feel really called to rediscover your passions and your joys and what truly makes you happy at this time, and needing something like that in your life, needing a true passion at this point in time to feel emotionally fulfilled. Okay, so again, I think that here you can really struggle with being like overlooked at this time, like I said, or rejected or not seen. It's really time to understand you're validating yourself. Validation, yes, it's natural to want it. We all crave it. We all, again, but the most important validation is self-validation. As long as you like it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And so this is a time to create what you like, to create what makes you happy. And if it just so happens that an audience likes that, that's even cherry on the top. So you, of course, you're sharing that, but don't, it's like shining your light unapologetically. Like you're radiant right now, okay? And it's for a reason, because you're meant to be seen and you're meant to create. And it's just like, you may feel kind of reconnecting with your inner child, or reconnecting with the things that you like to do when you were younger. So again, it's just like like I said, fifth house energy, outside era, right? Like entertainment, fun, joy, pleasure, and reconnection with the inner child, that sort of thing. So I hope that resonates for y'all. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, so now we have for my, if your moon is progressed in Virgo, okay, so right now might be a time where you're really focused on healing. Okay, you're really focused on like healing, but more so your lifestyle, your habits, your patterns, creating better routines for yourself, creating better mindset patterns, being more grounded, you know, focusing on getting your life organized, feeling like you're more meticulous and you're more practical. You may really struggle with anxiety, though. That's the only thing with this one, is you may struggle with worry, because you may feel very like kind of hyper vigilant when it comes to your health, your wellness, your routine, and like you will crave a sense of order at this point, a sense of healing and just service, meaningful service in your life, and like wanting to be of service. But also like you may look into like medicinal or like herbalism, or like natural healing methods, that sort of energy, you know, that can manifest that, where you're learning to sort of declutter your life, basically your external world, but also your mind will really need to be decluttered at this time. So I think this is a time for improvement, right? You're really going to want to improve yourself, and you're really going to want to like improve your physical health, improve your routines, like I said, your habits, your you know, journaling, therapy, changing your routines, dedicating yourself to improving yourself so that you can be a better version of yourself. The only thing I want you to watch out for this is to the point where you feel like something is wrong with you, or you feel like you know, you kind of get into that self-improvement loop, and it's like you don't realize that you are worthy and you are deserving just as you are. So that's definitely something with my, you know, with moon progress into Virgo. It's this season of improvement, is a season of healing, it's a season of organization and decluttering. And so it's this era where I feel like this is like a Sunday. That's what it's gonna feel like, a Sunday where you're clearing things out, you're balancing your checkbook, you're getting your money in order, you're getting your priorities together, you're trying to find more order and need for stability and organization in your life, trying to, you know, put a lot into the chaos. You may feel more reserved right now, like you don't really want to be seen, like you are more internally focused, more like to yourself, and more more introspective. It's a very, very introspective time for you to see what you can improve, to see what problems are in your life, or like, you know, problem solving as well. So I think here it can be an issue with perfectionism. It can be an issue with being overly critical of yourself, of like I said, like, oh my gosh, what do I need to improve? You feel like you need to improve so much, but it's, you know, also your human being just exists, you know. So you don't need to be perfect to be devoted to your growth, to be devoted to your path and all of that. You just need to be, okay? And you know that you are continuously growing. So like, regardless of if you forgot to water the plant one day, the plant is still going to grow. So it's kind of this energy here where it's about your growth. Like, you are in this era of growing, you're in this era of preparing, of decluttering, of cleaning, of organizing. And I think it's a nice introspective period, but remember to also let yourself give yourself grace, okay? I just got out of my moon progressed in Virgo, and it definitely was like very introspective and like very like decluttering of self and healing and all of that. But it's okay, just take it. You're doing a lot better than you think you are, like so much better than you think you are. And sometimes it really is just the anxiety. So I would really manage the anxiety, because you will feel more anxious and more like wanting control over things. But it's important to know that you just only, it's not even about controlling your thoughts. It's about understanding that they're not true a lot of times, understanding that your thoughts are just coming from your beliefs, okay? They're just kind of spewing. It's about being aware of them and then redirecting them. So I hope that resonated, you guys. I will see you guys next time. Let me know in the comments if it did, okay? So now for Libra. Oh my gosh, my moon has progressed into Libra. Let me tell you guys, I literally am just like, I want to, everything is about beauty. Like, when I cut my hair and I didn't like it at first, I was crying. Like, it's just so much focus on appearance and like, you know, beauty and balance and harmony and relationships. Like, all of those themes are going to come up for you. So right now it's like you're really focusing on beauty, you're really focusing on makeup or shopping or those types of things. But on another level, it's about you're trying to find balance in your relationships, you're trying to find harmony in your life. Right now it's really important for you to have like a clean environment. You're very aesthetically focused right now, so it's like your wardrobe might change. You might be really like more cognizant of how you appear to others, more cognizant of your surroundings, more cognizant of the things that you're saying, becoming more diplomatic in what you're saying, being more relationally focused where you're prioritizing other people's needs. So, you know, watch out for that. But you're overall looking for more harmony in your life, overall harmony in how you appear, harmony in your interactions, harmony in your surroundings. It could be a time where you want to be more social, okay? You want to talk to everybody, you kind of flirt with everybody, where you want to, you're romanticizing things, you're maybe really getting into love, wanting love, dating and romance and all of that. So right now, this lesson here is about balancing your needs with other people's needs, okay? Because you can really, right now, just, you have this desire for harmony that you feel responsible for it. And we have to remember that harmony is a result of finding some sort of compromise between two people, not just one person. And when you identify as the scales, you don't also see that you're the other side too, that's part of that balance. So it's about, yes, you're objective and you're seeing the opposite point of view, but you're also recognizing that you have a point of view too, and that matters, so that you're also a part of the scale. So I think right now can be a time where you may feel a little detached too, because like I said, Libra is a scale. It's an an inanimate object, inanimate. I think I'm saying that right. Inanimate object. English is not my first language. No, it is, but like, yeah. What's it called? So yeah, I think right now you might also be kind of prone to or called to social justice, and social issues as well. But I think here I think relationships become really important right now, and that's also been a theme for me. You know, getting into a really loving, serious, healthy relationship, becoming more conscious of how you show up in relationships. It's like instead of being internally focused as you were before, you become very externally focused. You become very like, you know, you may have been previously reserved and focused on healing and focused on improving. Now you're focusing on kind of the similar themes, but more so in the relational aspects of things and the aesthetic aspects of things, rather than it being so self and internal. So I would just get into, you know, if you're into that, beauty, makeup, or, you know, up leveling your routine, your style, you know, bringing in more cleanliness in terms of, and like, you know, getting to like your grace and elegance, and you may just feel more refined and elegant, like kind of you want a more classy look, right? Because before it was like more earthy and more healing, and now it's like more classy, and now it's more of connecting with other people. So just be mindful of people pleasing, be mindful of indecision, losing yourself in other people. Embrace, like I said before, that you are, what's it called? You are the other balance. You are the other part of the scale, okay? So you're not just the scale itself. But yes, if you've been feeling like you are just kind of more feminine in the things that you're doing, and like more social and wanting to kind of have nice things, or go on nice dates, or just talk to people or be social. But again, look at where you have Libra in your chart, because that's where it's really going to manifest this moon energy, where you're going to want to find more harmony. But generally this is what you're going to get with that. So I hope it resonates, you guys. Let me know if it resonated, and I will see y'all next time. Okay, so what's it called? All right, so if your moon is progressed into Scorpio, this is a deeply transformative time period for you. Okay, you're in your witchy era, you're in your alchemy era, you're in your era of deep transformation, where before you were very not, it wasn't that it's shallow, but you were more focused on like your aesthetics and how things looked, and like your relationships and how you're kind of coming off. Now is a time of complete change, okay? And like you may really feel things deeply, and you may have a desire to, you know, get into sort of more occult things, psychology, shadow work, witchcraft, things like that. This is an era of emotional rebirth, and like you may feel like you are going to be a completely different person, and like you're going through so much change in who you are. Your emotional focus right now is around it's like right now emotionally, for when your moon is progressed into Scorpio, it's about, you're going to feel very intense emotions, and it's a time to really transmute those emotions. Okay, you're going to feel things that deeply impact you, or kind of crave more depth, more meaning in your life, finding more being like wanting to be more private and wanting to explore the darker things or more private things, because you want to change, you want transformation, you want intensity, you want depth. So you could really be confronting your shadows, confronting your fears, confronting anything that was repressed. It's like coming back up, or even looking for things that were repressed. And like I said, in the occult and witchcraft and all of that, because you're trying to bring something to the surface so that it can be transformed. Okay, so deep emotional changes. You may feel really connected to your sexuality. I've seen this where you kind of discover your sexuality, or really own it, okay, or really a change as a person in your relationship to your sexuality. So you may uncover a lot of secrets, a lot of hidden truths. Like, it just becomes a time where it's kind of a wake-up call for you. You really want to watch out for obsession, jealousy, revenge, okay, resentment, just all those really heavy, deep emotions. Feel them and transmute them, pour them into something else, okay? So you also want to work on vulnerability here, because this might be a time where there's so much intensity, and there's so much like this desire for transformation, and there's the emotions will feel very heavy right now. So you're going to feel like more vulnerable to pain, more vulnerable to betrayal, more vulnerable to hurt. So it's going to be important right now to really maintain a sense of not needing to control external circumstances in order to feel secure, but to find security, and realize that you don't have to go through a crisis in order to build trust, that you can trust and see how it kind of goes, right? So I think here it's overall looking for more depth into your life, and honoring the desire to look into witchcraft, to look into the occult, to look into those kind of things, because that is where your energy might be like best put right now, where you're going to find a sense of fulfillment is in anything deep. So if you are like intimate with someone, for example, like it's not going to fulfill you if it's just the act of doing it. Like, you're going to need to feel like some sort of an energetic spiritual connection. Like, your relationships too will kind of have this focus of an intensity to it. Like, everything you do will have to feel like this raw passion, this raw desire, or you're not going to feel interested in it at all. So you may kind of feel like you have this all or nothing mindset and this really raw authenticity, where before it was more like on aesthetics or just like on maintaining the harmony. But now you're going to be really connected to your desires, like I said, really connected to your emotions. And it's going to be a time to really reclaim your inner power, to reclaim your sexuality, to reclaim your energy, and to reclaim even like spiritual or esoteric knowledge for yourself, or really owning that. So it's a beautiful time to bring out anything that's repressed, anything that's hidden, and also, like I said, exploring those things, and exploring anything repressed or hidden, and like experiencing deep levels of intimacy. Like, there's intimacy, and then there's Scorpio intimacy. So that's going to be a big theme for you right now. So I would just let the phoenix rise. Like, you're going to change. Like, there are parts of you that are going to die, and that's okay. But the phoenix is going to rise, and you're going to come out so much stronger. So this is the period where you're kind of going down into the underworld, and you're changing, you're transforming. It's going to feel kind of intense. It's going to feel kind of crazy. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be some crisis, but it's going to change you as a person. So let what's dead die, okay? Lean into transformation. Don't resist the change, because that's just you trying to control what you simply cannot. Allow it to happen, allow it to unfold, and you're going to come out so much better. So I hope that resonated. My moon and my progressed moon in Scorpios. It's like a transformative period. I think this is a period where you don't really ever forget in your life, because it's just so intense. And I mean, if you have your natal moon here and you're going through this period again, it will feel like you're like every other day. So hope that resonated, and let me know in the comments. I'll see y'all next time. Okay, so now we're at okay, so if your moon is progressed in Sagittarius, you're going to want to travel, you're going to want to expand, you're going to want to, you may have like a very jovial, optimistic, like maybe before you were more cautious and guarded, for the last 2 years, and kind of to yourself, and like more so in the shadows. And now you're going to want to expand, you're going to want to grow, you're going to want to see the world, you're going to want to learn new perspectives, you're going to want to see new people, talk to different people. It's like you're going to want to open up your mind and be open to new experiences. It's going to be a time where you really want freedom. So anything that constricts you, anything that limits you, anything that makes you feel trapped, a job, a relationship, you're going to leave that, okay? Because you are really wanting your freedom. You're going to be wanting to Release any change, release anything that has held you back. You may be feeling really impulsive and really spontaneous right now, and like you kind of have this crave for like a higher meaning, a deeper truth. You may be having this like desire to go back to school and get higher education, or like higher education becomes a theme, or long-term travel, long distance travel becomes a theme. You overall are going to crave adventure. Okay, you're going to crave like maybe also getting connected to your religion or your spirituality as well. But it's you're in your freedom era, you're in your world traveler era, like you're in your um I'm here but I'm not here era, kind of from place to place, finding meaning, finding truth, finding what truly matters to you in terms of your beliefs. So it could also be a time where you're formulating new beliefs, or you're leaving behind old beliefs, right? You're learning to trust life, you're learning to have faith. So it could also be a time where you just have a lot of lucky experiences, or you just have luck and random things, because right now you're being called, your emotional focus is on faith. So you kind of may do things on a whim. You may like not have security, full trust or whatever, but it just ends up working out. Okay, so again, I feel like it's overall a time period where you're breaking free from anything that feels stifling. Excuse me, that anything that feels entrapped, like it's gonna entrap you. Like right now it's like you're in an era of having a journey, you're going through a journey, and you want life to feel like a journey. So I feel like in this era I've seen where you quit your job and like you're just traveling now, right? You quit that corporate 9 to 5 or whatever, and now you're on about and traveling. Or you know you were you had this belief for all of your life, and then you kind of like go to a new country, or you go to a new place, and then you kind of have a new perspective here. So overall you're gonna feel like there's more that I'm missing, there's more that I have to learn, there's more that I have to see. You're gonna have this craving for like, oh my gosh, I need to like expand, I need to see more, I need to talk to more people, I need to learn more, I need to formulate beliefs for myself. But like, what are my beliefs, and why do I believe that, and is there more, am I missing something? So it's just going to be a time where you're going to be answering a lot of these like big picture questions that can really only be answered through religion, travel, spirituality, education, things like that. It's like your wanderer lust era, right? Road trips, okay? Like I said, long distance travel, pursuing experiences, like kind of like in your hippie spiritual era too. I can definitely see that. You know, having some sort of like spiritual awakening that's just like, whoa, I have been stuck, I have been trapped, I need to get the hell out of here. So overall, say yes to the journey, say yes to, like, literally is not a time to say no to anything. Do it, go ahead, be spontaneous right now. I think here you might, you know, just watch out for any sort of spiritual bypassing, or having like being overly optimistic, right? Because you may have a strong sense of faith in like God or spirituality right now, but make sure that you are also being grounded in the present moment, and not like looking for the next high, kind of like or escaping, not committing to things, right? So you may really struggle right now with like committing to things because you don't want to be trapped. So I hope that resonated, you guys. It's a beautiful period for travel and like going out there and being out and about. But I hope that resonated, and let me know in the comments, and I will see y'all next time. Okay, so we have Capricornio, 42. Okay, your moon is progressing Capricorn. This is your boss era. Okay, this is your legacy era. This is, I don't have time for any distractions, I need to get ish done. So this is going to be a period where you're very serious. You're very serious about your goals. You're going to be very focused on the future and what it is that you need to do and what needs to get done. You're going to be very decisive about cutting things out that are not necessary. So you're going to be very deliberate and very practical, where before you may have been like more of the wanderer and more of exploring, kind of having an open mind and kind of here nor there and being more spontaneous and not really having a plan for things, not really committing. This is a period where you're focusing on a legacy for yourself, you're focusing on a future that you want to build, and you realize that you have to commit, you have to, things get really serious. I've seen this with people that become parents as well, or you end up getting a new job that's like the very demanding job, or you get some sort of promotion or raise that requires you to be disciplined, that requires you to be serious, that pulls you out of this kind of wanderer energy. So your future has to be taken very serious right now. You're in your boss era, you're creating that business, you've gotten that promotion, you're like the president of the company or something like that. But overall, you're learning about responsibility, you're learning about commitment, you're learning about resilience, emotional resilience. The moon in Capricorn struggles because it prioritizes financial security and practical security over emotional. So right now, you may really struggle with your emotions because you may kind of feel like detached from them, in the sense that your focus is more so on what you can see, touch, feel, and hear, and how that's getting you to where you need to go. So it can be this sort of like workaholic energy, or not really being able to sit down, or if you might even feel like really bossy right now, or really like snappy kind of. And you may also gain a lot of wisdom right now. Okay, like there's a maturity happening here, where you're maturing in some aspect of your life. Look at where you have Capricorn in your chart, of course, where you step into some leadership role, you're building wealth for yourself. Like overall, you, like I said, you're getting serious. Okay, there's some sort of obligation that you have, family, career, that's really forcing you to be a parental figure in whatever this is. So it's like your overall, like I said, your future becomes important, your goals become important, like your emotional stability becomes tied to your goals, and your finances, it becomes tied to whatever this obligation is. So I can definitely see this like with becoming a parent, but I think this is more so I've definitely seen it like more so in stepping into leadership roles, management, starting a business, needing to be disciplined, needing to be an adult about things, like needing to mature. Okay, so it's like this era where you're really building an empire for yourself, and there's not really time for distractions. The pitfall here is like, while you're gonna have like this insane drive and this insane like need for, also I've seen this where you start investing more in like quality pieces, you start looking at wealth, learning more about wealth, learning more about money, being more financially literate, understanding quality versus quantity when it comes to things, and overall just being very practical, and also in relationships too, really prioritizing stability, especially financial stability, and prioritizing what the person can bring for you long term. But overall focusing more so on long term in everything that you're doing, and becoming more structured, more disciplined, more organized, and stepping into leadership. So I will say here, like I said, the pitfalls is more so that you may kind of fall into this workaholic tendency. You may struggle with like compartmentalizing your emotions or connecting with your emotions. You may struggle with letting someone in and being vulnerable at this time, because like you're very go, and you're kind of taking on some sort of role, and you may really struggle with kind of letting someone in, or feeling like there's going to be some sort of weakness or a loss of your power or position if you're being vulnerable, soft. But I think this is a time, as much as you're growing and you're building this empire, you have to understand that you're not going to be able to sustain that if you're not taking care of your emotional needs. So you may feel like overly burdened and have a lot of obligation right now, or like I said, just kind of feel like you're alone in your emotional burden. So it's really going to be important to have a support system right now, and create a life here where you are you're not basing your worth on your achievements, because that can definitely be something here. So building a foundation that lasts. Okay, everything else that doesn't last is not a focus right now. But again, just take care of yourself and don't push yourself too hard. The empire will still be there if you get an extra hour of sleep. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope it resonated. Let me know, and I will see y'all next time. Okay, so let's see. All right, so right now, my Aquarius, if your moon is progressing Aquarius, you're in your rebellion era, you're in your breakthrough era, you're in your I don't give a F era, you're in your non-conformist, like you're in your, oh my gosh, what is the word in English? Protest. You're in your protest era, where you may be really individualistic and really focusing on your authentic self, and really focusing on breaking the norm. So you may be a little detached right now from tradition, from conserving. You know, you may have been really focused on committing to what you said you're going to commit to, and like you not necessarily, I mean, that's still Aquarius energy, but it's more so in the past, the last 2 years when your moon was in Capricorn. It's like you were more so focusing on maintaining what was already done. And this time it's a period of breaking free from tradition, breaking free from the norm, and creating an own identity for yourself, where you're kind of taking things in a new direction, where it's like, wait, let me apply the same sort of discipline, but in a way where it's about, what do I want for, how do I want to change the future? How do I want to change how things are done? How do I want to improve how things are done? So it's kind of like this energy of, you're craving more truth, you're craving more space, and you're also craving this looking beyond like personal gain and personal achievement for the last 2 years, but now you're kind of looking at on a wider scale in your community and the people around you. How can you kind of shift things to also improve all everyone else? Like, what is that you maybe just feeling more charitable or more focused on humanitarianism, or wanting to get more involved in your community, want to get more involved in social advocacy and things like that, making sure that the things that you are doing are truly aligned with your authentic truth and aligned with, like right now you may be kind of seeing a lot of issues in the world, and feeling more of like a drive to sort of do something about it. It's about, or it's not so societal, but it's more so about you rebelling past what you've realized have been ingrained in you because of like tradition or culture or where you're from, and really finding that personal identity for yourself. So it's about redefining who you are and sort of detaching from the expectations of others. You may kind of feel like you're in your own little world, that you don't really want to be like a part of what you were a part of used to. Like maybe your friend groups were really going to change around this time because you as a person is kind of rebelling past what you were used to. So I think that this is about being drawn to, like I said, social causes, alternative lifestyles, or really finding your soul tribe, or really being drawn to I mean, obviously if you're watching this, you're into astrology, but being drawn to like and maybe you're getting more involved in like online communities and like getting to know people, and like it's like your life focus right now, your emotional security becomes on some sort of something that brings people together, that's related to authenticity and related to truth, and or can be related to societal change in some way, shape, or form. So it's overall like you're kind of emotionally detaching. You know, you might feel, like I said, detached from your emotions, and kind of having like a difficult a change in how you deal with your emotions, and kind of finding what feels authentic to you. But also like even your style might change. It might become a little bit more nonconformist, a little bit more rebelling a little bit in some ways, rejecting a lot of things that you were used to find your own calling and to find your own independence, and kind of going down. It's like right now you're kind of craving your own path. You're creating a path for yourself, like, you know what, I didn't even want to do this. Like, this is what everyone else did, that's just the only reason why I do it. But now it's like, what do I want to do, and what do I want to create, and what is the most authentic path for me? But it's like you're also maybe being more authentic and just showing more of your personality, showing more of your weirdness, showing more of like, you know, your interest in sci-fi and space or whatever, and being more open about that. And that's why I feel like your relationships, your friendships specifically, will really change at this time. So again, this can be to the point where you will self-isolate too much as well with Aquarius moon, progressed moon, because it's like this detachment that you feel, and this sort of like a change in your personality, or even kind of like being in your own world so much, and being that you're not really connecting. But again, it's just, I think, watch out for also emotional detachment. And it's like you're gonna have emotions that pop up like 3 weeks later, and it's like, whoa, what happened? Because you may feel very emotionally disconnected. So watch out for that. So I hope that resonates, you guys. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. All right, so let's see my Pisces moon. If your moon is progressed into Pisces right now, you are in your mystic era. Okay, this is a time where you're really surrendering to the flow. You're really allowing yourself to get connected with the universe, get connected with your spirituality, get connected with God in like but in a really, you might feel very empathetic, sensitive to energy. Oh my goodness, like You may really uncover intuitive or psychic gifts during this time. Your emotional focus becomes on feeling like you are a part of the cosmos, okay? It's a very mystical healing time where you're really wanting emotional connections with people. You're wanting to get into your spirituality. You're wanting to dive into anything that feels like I said, just mystical and kind of like mermaid siren-y. But it's more so in the sense of like, you know, you want to get into the crystals and learning about your chakras and of course astrology, like those types of things, those types of esoteric topics, or even lucid dreaming. Like you just kind of want to feel it's a moment where you're so sensitive right now, where you might want to feel like this connection outside of yourself, right? Where you might even like, you know, tarot, astrology, or like, you know, spirits and stuff like that. So it's a phase where you're learning to sort of connect with the spiritual side, connect with creativity, art, romance, poetry, things that really music, things that really make your heart move.